From the BzG studio in the Mission Dolores district, right in the heart of San Francisco, it's BzG News with Barrett Courtney.
Thank you so much over there. The guy jerking off in the crowd, showing his belly, and the guy over there with the backwards hat who looks like Kevin Smith. Thank you guys so much. Welcome. This is BzG News, and I am Barrett Courtney. I am the host of this show, which is usually a good show, but this week I didn't write down any news and print it out like I usually do because I was playing a lot of Uncharted 4 last night at the expense of this show. So I'm really sorry for the quality of the show this week. So I'm just going to go on to GameSpot.com and read off any interesting news stories that seem interesting to me. But yes, this is BzG News. This is where I give you all of the important nerdy news you need to know about for this week. And I give you my opinion on those pieces of news. Some housekeeping. I was recently on an episode of Bonus Points, episode 65, that is hosted by Roger Picorni and Caleb. Caleb, you got to change your last name. Or don't, but your last name is very hard to say, and I forget how to say it every time. But go over there. It's youtube.com/RogsFormer, ROG Former, and it's also, if you go onto our main YouTube page, he's like one of the suggested channels. So go over there, watch that episode. I think it's a really good episode. That's another show where they talk about news and whatnot. So if you want to get like more news and more thoughts, go check that out. Also, you might be wondering, okay, Barrett, you're playing a lot of Uncharted 4. You guys are going to do a review on it? Yes, I'm going to do a written review. Hopefully sometime, it will be up sometime this weekend. And then I do want to do a spoiler cast with a couple of people. Still trying to work some things out there. So I don't want to say anything yet. Make them feel like, I don't want to like name drop people of like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this with these people. Because then they feel obligated. And then I'm sort of a jackass and whatnot. So whatever. There's your fucking housekeeping this week. Let's get into the nerdy motherfucking news for this week. All right, let's scroll down GameSpot. This episode is very useless because this is literally what you could just do and not have to watch this video. Battlefield 1 has the most liked trailer ever on YouTube. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare most disliked. Yeah, I believe they both have. Infinite Warfare has 1 million dislikes and Battlefield 1 has 1 million likes, which is very interesting. Because besides that, like I haven't really heard any like super big hype on Battlefield 1. The trailer dropped last week. It's World War I, and they're changing a lot of aspects to World War I, which sort of sucks. I think you could have kept it to trench warfare, and like you would have to change sort of the Battlefield formula of like big open fucking battles and whatnot. You'd have to change that, but I think that would have made a more interesting game. So they're changing like the history of World War I, which I think is sort of an insult to the people who fought in World War I, and they're just changing a lot of things to make World War I fit into the Battlefield formula, which I'm surprised. Like a lot of people liked that. People were super blinded by like, oh, they're going into the past instead of going into the future, right? So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see when the game comes out to see how many people actually buy it. And then with Infinite Warfare, more people are pissed that you have to buy the Legacy Edition of Infinite Warfare to get Modern Warfare. Than just it being in space. I think more people are upset about the whole COD 4 thing than anything else, because that is some bullshit. It is some bullshit right there. It's just, again, like I said last week, it's them saying we knew Infinite Warfare was going to bomb, so we attached this special edition with this game because we didn't know how to, give incentive to buy this game. Anyway, moving on. Star Wars Battlefront 2 confirmed features content from the new movies. In quotes. Interesting. It's very interesting. And the way they say that, it's going to feature content from the new movies. It's like, okay, that's cool and all. Is there going to be like a campaign story sort of thing that'll feature like a storyline that might have to do with the new movies? Or is it just going to be multiplayer again, where we get the same maps from Battlefront 1? And then some new maps from the new movies. I don't know. I'm hesitant. Hopefully they'll fix everything they needed to fix for this upcoming one. I don't know. It's still too early, guys. It's still too early. I want to get into Battlefront again. We should try to play some Battlefront soon. Because your copy is gone. How about you? You're good to go. Well, we should. Henry and I are going to play some Battlefront together. Because you know what? That is a very.
You motherfuckers are complaining now that I got rid of it.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Because Battlefront, I will have to give credit to Battlefront 1. Very beautiful game. I think it is very mindless, but it's a good like, hey, let's like play this every couple of weeks or like every month or so, sort of mindless game. And I like that. I like that about Star Wars Battlefront. But I hope there's a lot of things fixed for this second one. Mass Effect Andromeda release date has been delayed. BioWare confirms it will be sometime in 2017, early 2017, opposed to later 2016. Isn't surprising. We have literally all we have learned about Andromeda, like officially learned, not like any of the like 10-second or 5-second loops of leak gameplay or whatnot. The only thing that has been confirmed for Mass Effect and they have talked about is that it's called Andromeda. So we have literally heard nothing about this, and you know it's supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out later this fall, and it's like you haven't said anything about it. So is it really coming this year? So the delay isn't a surprise to me, and I was sort of in the same boat with Mafia 3. Where all we really learned is Mafia 3 plays a black guy, and you're in New Orleans, and it looks fucking dope. And then we didn't hear a bunch of shit for like almost a year. And then thank God they finally like announced a release date for this year. But it sort of felt like the same thing with Andromeda, where it's like, okay, you announced it. There's a long time where we like the last time I feel like we saw like Andromeda was at EA's press conference for E3 last year. And like and it wasn't even like they talked about it a lot. It was like in the quick little like beginning trailer where they showed like a split second, and that's all we fucking saw. Whatever. All right. Scrolling through the news. Be patient with me. I'm sorry the quality of the show is not that great. Pokemon Sun and Moon release date has been confirmed. Starter Pokemon revealed. Meet your new Pokepals, writes Timur Hussein on GameSpot. So Sun and Moon was announced about a month or two ago. Maybe a little bit before that. But anyway, it will be available on 3DS November 18th. And the starter Pokemon, I'm sure I probably had a picture of the starter Pokemon right here and not like of the Sun and Moon logo or whatever. The starting Pokemon are named Rowlet, which is a flying grass type, Litten, a fire type. I love that they left out that it's obviously a fucking cat. And then Poplio, a water type. Now I want to give some credit to Rowlet because this guy is fucking adorable, and I want to tell you why. Because he's got a nice little bow tie, like right here, and it's like a little grass bow tie, and it's really cute. Not a lot of people are talking about that because Litten is a fucking thing, and it's the most. If anything is going to be the biggest meme of 2016, this will probably be it. It's Litten, fam. And this is just. I think Litten actually does look pretty cool. The other two, like I like the little Rowlet, the little owl guy, because he's got the little bow tie. But that fucking seal, dude. That seal looks fucking dumb. What is this a reference to? What are you doing to my show right now? Jesus Christ. Well, anyway, Sun and Moon apparently is the location is going to be based off of like Hawaiian themes and whatnot. So if you're super into that, that'll be cool. I saw some screenshots of it. It was really nice. Okay. Scrolling through some more news. If I will get Pokemon Sun and Moon, hard to say. My 2DS is fucking broken right now, and I'm really pissed about it because I only bought it like a month ago. I got the black screen apparently, which is like a huge thing when it comes to the 2DS. And I'm really annoyed about that, and Nintendo won't fix it for me, so that's the boat I'm in right now. Whether or not I'll play Sun and Moon depends solely on that. And also, I'll probably have to think about it if I really want to play a game with dumb-looking Pokemon. Anyway, Disney Infinity has been discontinued. Developer shuttered with nearly 300 jobs lost. So, yeah, Disney put out a press release saying, hey, we're going to stick to licensed games for our titles, which I am actually, like, I know my heart goes out to the developers of Disney Infinity. A lot of jobs lost there. A lot of people who were, like, I forget the big name from Disney Infinity, the one guy who, I believe he's been on Colin and Greg Live before, and I think he's probably been on the Gamescast of Kind of Funny. Like, I think he was a name, like, from Disney Infinity, so it's sad to see him out of a job, and also, like, all the people who worked a lot on that game. Even though we make fun of fucking toy to life games a lot, it still sucks to hear that a lot of people lost their jobs. But it's interesting because this was the most interesting thing, is that they talked about how they were losing a shit ton of money doing Disney Infinity, how it was really expensive to do it. And here's the weird thing, and they weren't making a profit off of it. They are the most successful toy-to-life game. The most successful. If Disney Infinity isn't making, like, a good profit for them, is, like, how is Lego Dimensions doing? How is Skylanders doing? I'm surprised that Skylanders is still even a fucking thing. Like, especially with, like, Disney Infinity being out and the Lego Dimensions being out. Like, how does Skylanders even fucking compete? No one gives a shit about those characters. So it's really interesting to see if Toys to Life will die soon because of the most successful and most popular Toys to Life game is failing. But I also think hopefully it opens up, other developers who aren't part of, like, the whole Disney fucking corporation, companies outside that, to develop video games for Disney properties. I'm really excited for that. And the one thing that this might actually make sense for is, did Disney own the rights to a Spider-Man game? Who knows? The whole, like, who owns the rights to Spider-Man video game right now is all up in the air, because they're saying, like, it was, who was it that was it Activision? Yes, it was Activision, and I think they had to sell it. And it was sort of up in the air who actually owns it. At least for me, if you know it, leave it in the comment below. I'd like to know who actually owns it. But it'll be interesting to see if, because of the whole licensing thing, that if a Spider-Man game by Sucker Punch is actually real. That's sort of another news thing. A lot of rumors. Spider-Man Sucker Punch game exclusive to the PlayStation 4. I don't know how true that really is, but I don't know. It would be an interesting idea. All right, going through the news. That might be all the news that we need to talk about today. Who knows? I'm going to scroll up a little more. I'm playing Uncharted 4 right now. I really like it. It's really fun. It's a little weirdly paced. I'm sure I'll write a little bit about that in my review. Ladies and gentlemen, that was all of the news for this week after looking for a couple more minutes. But before we go, we're bringing back a segment I like to call Hankering Henry, where I bring Henry Montiero onto the show, and I ask him, for some fucking reason, sexual advice. Henry, are you ready for this week's question?
I'm ready for the ladies and the babies.
I have no idea why I do this segment. Henry, how do you convince your significant other into a threesome?
The best way to convince your significant other to get into a threesome is to first show them a very nice picture of a lake. Get them to look at the lake. Study the details of the... Did I say picture? I meant a painting.
Okay, all right.
It's a painting of a lake. Have her appreciate the way that the paint mixes with the details, finding a way into the canvas, creating a new emotion of the painting, mixing with the sunlight in real life experience with the painting. She will understand now what it means to be in a threesome.
And with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us this week for BzG News. I promise that next week will be better. I'll actually have a script for you guys and not just fucking scroll onto GameSpot and fucking try to find pieces of news at the last minute. I'm sorry. I've been playing a lot of Uncharted 4. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us this week. Remember, BzG News goes up every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until next week, guys, stay nerdy. Thank you so much. The guy who's jerking off with his belly showing, you're moving around a lot and you're just jerking off onto people. Don't jerk onto him. Don't jerk onto the Kevin Smith lookalike. Don't do it.